Hi friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. I'm just bringing you along this morning for a very quick kitchen extravaganza kitchen day. We're not going to spend a lot of time in the kitchen today, but it is harvest season, so we have a lot to do. I'm not honestly in the mood to be productive in the kitchen today, but when harvest season is coming in, you got to do what you got to do. So, first I have 2 quarts of strawberries that I need to use up. I picked these at this point a week ago, and they are ready to be used. This just tastes so good. Mm-hmm. So while I just get these in the freezer, I thought I'd bring you along and tell you all the different things that you can do to preserve strawberries. Just kind of keep me company while I top those and get them in freezer bags. Then I have some raspberries. We're going to make a raspberry oat bar. I've never made that before, but I have raspberries that I want to use up. And then, I'm not going to bring you along with this because this is going to take a couple of days to do, but I want to show you. I gave my onions a haircut this morning, and I got a ton of onions. I actually filled my sink fully up with onions, so there are a lot of onion greens there. So I'm going to talk to you about what to do with those onion greens. So before we talk about the onion greens, before we make the raspberries, I am going to top my strawberries. So I picked these strawberries about a week ago, and I'm kind of out of stuff to do with fresh strawberries right now, so I'm going to throw these in the freezer. So with all of the strawberries, I think I got around 16 to 20 quarts, somewhere in there, of strawberries. First and foremost, I made a good amount of jam with my strawberries, so I have jam for at least 1 year, if not 2 years. Then we made a couple strawberry pies. I made strawberry shortcake. One of my favorite things to do with fresh strawberries is I actually just put all these strawberries in a pot with just a smidgen of sugar, and kind of like let them cook for just a few minutes in the pot, just kind of help soften them up. And then I put all of that into bags, and I call that my strawberry shortcake dinner. So I love strawberry shortcake. I live in Amish country, and in Amish country we do strawberry shortcake with milk. So it's not a dessert, it's a meal for me, and instead of using like whipped cream, we use milk. And it is one of my favorite things. And I want to have it, especially during winter. I love to have it for breakfast and stuff. But I hate buying fresh strawberries for it, because fresh strawberries in the middle of winter, or just strawberries from the grocery store in general, just aren't good. So I started last year, and I loved it, where like I said, I just make these strawberry packets, is what I call them. And that way, whenever I want in winter, I can get these fresh strawberries out of the freezer. Strawberries don't freeze well. When you get them out, they will be pretty mushy, but it goes really well in this shortcake. So I'm really loving it. So I did, I think, 7 or 8 of those packets. So we're going to have a good amount of strawberry shortcake this winter. I did some fresh eat-in with these strawberries. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh, what I did this year that was new is I made a delicious strawberry juice. So I first made a strawberry wine, and that is still going in the fridge. It's first, I guess, it's not ferment, but it's sitting there in the fridge. So it'll be in there for another 3 weeks before we can try that and see if that has turned into wine. So I did that. So I did the wine, and then when I tried the wine the day I made it, so it's not obviously wine yet, it's just strawberry juice. You use strawberry juice, a little bit of sugar, and you actually use some apple juice. And when I tried it the first day, it was so good. It was so incredibly refreshing. It's the perfect summer drink. I think it's so refreshing to kind of go get that after a good day of working outside. Again, it's just juice. It's not alcoholic at all. It's just juice. And I love it. So I actually made a whole bunch of that. I did probably 10 to 12 quarts of that. Um, and I put that in the freezer. And that juice is fantastic. Um, if you're interested, I have a video up on how I make my strawberry wine or strawberry cider. And it's that same recipe, just minus the yeast. And I talk about it in the video. So I made some of that, and that is delicious. And then I actually went out on my friend's boat last weekend, and I kind of wanted to take a cocktail. And I ended up pulling one of those quarts out, and I just added coconut juice or coconut rum to it. And that was a fantastic summer drink. And so I really like that because one day, hopefully next year, that'll be made from my homegrown strawberries. I have plans to get more strawberries. But they were local strawberries, organic strawberries, and I got organic apple juice. And then next year, I'm going to have my own apple juice from this apple season. So next year, that'll be all but me, hopefully all me. But it was just a really great drink. It's a really great drink. So I did a whole bunch of that. I did 12 quarts of that. I had that in the freezer. So I don't really quite know. I have a couple of recipes or a couple of things I want to do with strawberries this year. I saw a recipe for and these are like meals, more so meals than preserving. I saw a recipe for, what was it? It was like a pickled strawberry, and then you put it on toast. And the comment said it was really good. So I want to try that. But I really kind of need to get these big batches of strawberries done. And I don't think I'm done with strawberry season. I think I'm going to try to get a late harvest or do like a late picking. I think there's a July round of strawberries that I was told should be coming in soon. So I think I might get another round of strawberries. But my green stalk is still producing strawberries. So my green stalk gives me a solid 5 or 6 strawberries a day. Not very many, but it's enough to make it like that pickled strawberry toast thingy that I found. It's enough to put it on a quick fruit salad. It's enough to put on an anniversary cake and make a little trifle. So they're not giving me a ton, but my plan is for next year to get more June Baron strawberries. I currently don't have any June Baron strawberries, and then get another tower of Everbaron. So if you don't know, strawberries you can get them all at once, determinate or indeterminate. So some strawberries, like a June Baron strawberry, they will come in all at once. So you will get one big harvest of these strawberries because they're kind of coming all at once, and you'll get like where you could pick pints of strawberries. Whereas a strawberry, like an Everbaron strawberry, like my strawberry tower, that is an Everbaron, so it means it'll bloom all summer. So every single day, like I said, I get 5 or 6 strawberries off of that tower, 7 or 8. It's more than 5 or 6, but you get like a small. Let me show you kind of. I'll get like maybe this many strawberries every single day, and that'll continue throughout the whole season. So there are pros and cons to both. I, prior to this year, never wanted June Baron strawberries. I was like, I'm fine with the Everbaron. And I want to get a second tower for Everbaron. I definitely want to do 2 towers next year. And then that way I can have, the handful I just showed you, double that every day, about every day. But I also want to get the June Baron strawberries so I can do the big preservation projects like this. Unless you have a ton of Everbaron strawberries, and currently I have 50 and I can't do it. But unless you have a ton of Everbaron strawberries, you will never be able to make jam from them or do like a large preservation project just because they're not coming in fast enough. So, and both have their pros and cons. But I'm really happy with the number of strawberries that I'm getting, and I just want to kind of up that for next year. And then I want to get myself started on June Baron strawberries. So I'm excited for that. So I don't actually know what I'm going to do with these. I don't have any inspiration right now. I don't need any more jam. I don't need any more juice. I don't need any more strawberry shortcake. And that's kind of, I think, the main things I do to preserve strawberries. Um, in the past, I have dehydrated these strawberries. If you have a freeze dryer, you can freeze dry some. Um, I liked dehydrating them, and then I ground them up or powdered them. And I used that powder in like icings to make like a strawberry icing for a cake, or I used it in the cake mix to kind of give it some strawberry flavor. Um, that was honestly the main use for my dehydrated strawberries. Um, if you get the freeze dried ones, or you freeze dry strawberries, they work really well in like granola, topped on cereal, anything like that. I don't have a freeze dryer. I want one, but I don't have one. And it takes a lot of strawberries to dehydrate. It takes a lot to get anything. So, I'm not going. So I'm not going to dehydrate these. I think for the cost of these strawberries, which wasn't a lot, I could buy the equal amount of freeze-dried strawberries that I could use as the powder for all of these things, and it would go further than dehydrated. Um, for me, like I said, I've done it before, and I liked the end product, but I'm gonna just stick to freeze-dried strawberries for that purpose. And you can buy them if you don't have a freeze dryer. You can buy them online. I really want to kind of make friends with somebody who has a freeze dryer, because I have so many things that I want to freeze dry, or that like I want, and I want to be like, can you do this for me, and then I'll buy it from you. I want to make friends with somebody who has a freeze dryer so I can get some of these things. So for right now, I'm just gonna throw these in the freezer, and then what's great about frozen strawberries is these local ones taste phenomenal. They taste so much better than any store strawberry. I broke my rules this year, and I did buy strawberries about 2 months ago from the grocery store for some, I forget what I made, but I bought strawberries, and they were completely white on the inside. A local grown vine ripened strawberry is red on the inside, and these were completely white on the inside, which meant two things. Number one, it had been picked before it was ripe, and it was force ripened outside or off the vine. And number two, it had no flavor. It had no flavor. So when you freeze local strawberries, you can use them in things like smoothies. That's a great use for frozen strawberries. Make smoothies. I can make margaritas. Any kind of like frozen drink with these strawberries would be delicious. We're making raspberry bars today with some fresh picked raspberries, but we could do strawberry bars with these. So we're gonna put them in the freezer, and they will either become something we're gonna do with. We'll either use them at some point this year or next year when I'm cleaning out my freezer after winter. I will make some more jam. So I have one gorgeous bowl of strawberries ready to go in the freezer. So I'm just going to put them all into this big Ziploc bag. And that way, whenever I want them, I have them. So I can get them in there without spilling them all over the place. Oops, I spilled. That is not working. Oh my gosh. Go in the bag. The bag is your home. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to have a blast. Go in the bag. Go in the bag. Yeah. Okay. This bag is ready for the freezer, and that is one project done. Like I said, I didn't feel like doing this, but I'm glad it's done. So now we're going to move on to our raspberries. So I have a colander of raspberries that I have washed. And these are fresh red raspberries, seedless red raspberries. that I picked for my raspberry patch this morning. So there are pros and cons to red raspberries and black raspberries. So let's talk about them because I have both. So these are my red raspberries, and the taste on these raspberries is utterly phenomenal. That's one stem on. It's phenomenal. Sweet, low tart, so good. The thing that I've noticed though with red raspberries is that when they are ripe, they fall apart. So I picked these berries. I'm making a mess. I picked these berries, and they were, whole when I picked them. I ran them through, I put them in a strainer to wash them off, and they completely fell apart. Like, these are not whole strawberries anymore. So I wanted to, I honestly didn't even know what I want to do with them, but when I washed them and they fell apart, I'm like, okay, we got to use them up in a different way than preserving them. So we're going to make these raspberry bars. Black raspberries, I have a whole big patch of black raspberries. Black raspberries for me are a wild, they're actually like a weed. So I actually collected some weeds. Some of these black raspberry bushes I collected, and I planted them along my fence. I let them go crazy. And I can actually probably, tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to pick my first rounds of black raspberries. So black raspberries have seeds, and they are so annoying. The seeds get stuck in the back of my teeth all the time. So annoying. Totally get why people don't like black raspberries. But for me, the pro of black raspberries is they are a firmer berry, so they stay together. So I could have picked this bowl of black raspberries, and they would not have fallen apart the way the red raspberries did. Black raspberries have thorns. I have red seedless, thornless bushes that I purchased, and it is a much more pleasant experience picking my red raspberries than it is picking my black raspberries, but I do think the black raspberries potentially have a little bit of a better taste. They're a little bit more tart, but I think they have more of a raspberry. What you typically think of as raspberry, I think black raspberries taste more like raspberries than red raspberries. The annoying thing is just the thorns and the seeds. So definitely pros and cons. I know a lot of people prefer red raspberries just because they're seedless. But I don't know how to get them to not fall apart. You can pick them when they're not quite ripe. Like this one is not quite ripe yet. When they're ripe and they taste the sweetest is when you pick them and they basically fall off. Like that one's a ripe one and it's all but falling apart. So we're going to turn this into raspberry oat bars. I've never made these before, but I'm excited for it. So let's pull out our recipe. Okay, to the raspberries, I've already messed this up, so we're just going to move forward. I'm going to tell you what I just did wrong, but it's going to be okay. Okay, so to my raspberries, I'm at half a cup of sugar. Now I messed up the recipe and I instantly started doing the wrong thing. I added brown sugar to my raspberries, which I should not have done. So I'm just going to go light on the sugar. It calls for half a cup of white sugar. I added brown sugar, so it's just going to be a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of white sugar. It's going to be delicious. So I'm going to add a little bit of half a cup of sugar. I got a mix, and then a good splash of lemon, and then I'm going to get that all mixed up. So that's just the raspberries, and that's just the raspberries. Okay. So now we're going to make the crumble. So into this dish, I need 2 cups of brown sugar. Three cups of flour. Three cups of rolled oats. Okay, I was wonder where my half cup measure was. It's in my oats. I haven't known where this was for quite some time. Well, we're gonna put it back in there because that worked well. So when I lose the half cup measure again, someone tell me it's in the oat container. Okay. I need a teaspoon of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. And then I need 1.5 cups of melted butter. And I'll be honest, I don't feel like melting butter right now, so I'm going to use avocado oil. And if you don't have butter, oil is another substitute. You just need to use a fat. I'm gonna use avocado oil. Okay. That is all of the ingredients. So we're gonna get this assembled now. So I want to give this a stir, get this all mixed up. Oops, making a mess. So I'm going to put them in a 9x9. So it says to put in 2/3 of the crumble into a pan. It says to line the pan with parchment paper. I'm not doing that. I forgot. And I think I'm actually out of parchment paper, so it'll be fine. So it'll be fine, right? Just trying to get an even layer. I'll put this in the oven. The oven set at 350. We're going to par bake this for 10 minutes before we add in our raspberry and the top crumble. While my bars bake, let's talk about this massive pile of onion tops. So onions grow the bulb, and they obviously grow greenery. They grow big, long, big, long, just leaves. And they're actually hollow on the inside. You can see they're actually hollow on the inside. So the bigger the leaf, completely hollow. And these actually taste like a very mild onion. You can use them like a spring onion, you can use them like a shallot, green onion. These are delicious. So the reason you want to give your onions a haircut, you want to give them a haircut when they're about 6 to 8 inches tall. Obviously, mine have gotten a little big, so I gave them a really good haircut this morning, and what that does is it forces the onion to focus on its root, which is the bulb, which is what we're growing the onion for, and not on the greenery. So we do that with vegetables too. Like if you buy a tomato or pepper from the store, or the one you have started has tried to set a flower before it's planted outside, you pinch those flowers off because you want the plant to focus more on its roots when you put it in the garden rather than trying to focus on growing fruit. It's the same thing with onions. You want them to focus on growing their root, which is the bulb. So you can actually give your onions a haircut quite often. Anytime they get 6 to 8 inches tall, you can give them a haircut. And again, that actually really benefits the onion. They really kind of like to have their onion tops cut. But these onion tops are not trash. Don't compost them. Don't lay them in the walk. Use them. If you're growing an onion, you can use these, and they're going to taste very, very similar to an actual onion. So these have a very mild onion flavor. Like I said, you can use them in replace of spring onions. Chop them up, use them like chives. They are delicious. So I do a lot with my onions, and it's the same thing when I grow garlic. I get these same garlic greens, garlic scapes. Definitely use that. Don't let it go to waste. With these onions, you can do a couple of things with them, or you can kind of throw them in the freezer and kind of just throw them into soups and stews. Very basic, throw them into soups and stews, again, give you the onion flavor. Towards the end of the season, the last harvest of onion tops I will do is probably when I harvest my onions. Those tops I cut, I clean, and then I will just put them, I will dice them up, and I will just put them in a freezer. The diced up ones, I will use my pepper packets. I make a delicious pepper packet, peppers and onions and all kinds of good stuff, okra. And I like to add in diced up onion and garlic greens. Again, just gives you more flavor. But you can leave them whole. I'll throw a whole bunch in a bag. I'll just kind of shove them in a Ziploc bag just like this. And when I make broth, I will pull them out and I will add them to broth. So they get you don't have to use a whole onion when you're making broth. You can use the skin from that onion, or these give it incredible flavor. What I'm going to do with this batch is I'm actually going to dehydrate this batch. I'm going to get my dehydrator out. I'm going to dehydrate it, and then I'm going to turn this batch into a green onion powder. I don't have onion powder. I haven't had onion powder in my house for probably like a year. Just because I've been lazy and I haven't felt like making it. So I think this is going to be a great use. It's just going to be a green onion powder, and it's going to be delicious. You can make a pesto out of this. You can put these in like scrambled eggs. It's delicious. Like I said, you can freeze them, and then when you want to use them, like cut them up, dice them up, freeze them, pull them out, and you can add them to your fresh cooking. They go great in soups and stews. These are add them to salads. These are definitely up there with the onion. I love these guys. Same with the garlic. I love harvesting these just as much as I love harvesting the actual root or the bulb. So if you're growing onions or garlic, go out there, give them a haircut. They're going to love it. And you are going to get, this is a massive amount of green onion tops. You're going to get a great product that you can do a couple of different things for. Like I said, I really love to add to my pepper packets and into my soups and my stews. It's delicious. So I've given these guys a good wash. Now I'm just kind of letting them dry. And then I'm going to bring up the dehydrator, and I'm going to get them going in the dehydrator. And like I said, that'll take a couple of days to get this entirely dehydrated. But that's a good old bunch of green onion tops. So it's now not completely baked, it's just par baked. Now we are going to add in the raspberries. I'm just going to spread it out. And then you're going to top it with the rest of, I'm going to use the spatula, the rest of the crumble. This is going to be so good. You know what else would be really good with this, or on this, is if when it's done, if you melted some white chocolate on it. If I have white chocolate, we might do that. That would be so, could you imagine how good that would be? That would be so good. And these are like little homemade granola bars. How fun. I'm getting ready to go out of town in a couple of days. And this might be the perfect thing to make to take out of town as like a breakfast. Okay, now I'm going to put it back in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And when it comes out of the oven, you either need to let it chill for a couple of hours to kind of set into bars, or you can eat it while it's still warm and eat it kind of like as a raspberry crisp. So that's exciting. So we'll be back in about half an hour when we get that out of the oven. smell so good. And they look so good. And that was so incredibly easy to whip together. I think you could do this with apples, with blueberries, with peaches. The options are endless. So I am so excited to, number one, try this, and number two, to kind of experiment with this. See what other fruit we can kind of make into these crumble bars. I'm going to try to refrain myself. I really want to add a scoop of vanilla ice cream to this and eat it like a crisp. But we're going to try to refrain ourselves and eat them as bars. We'll see how we do. I'll bring you guys back whenever I decide to dig into it. It's just about bedtime, and I am done for the day. But I want to give these a quick taste. It's only been about 2.5 hours since they came out. And I think these would probably do better. They're still warm, but I think they would probably do better if I put them in the fridge. Let's give them a taste. It tastes really good. But I'm going to doctor the recipe next time. I'm going to make these again. I'm going to doctor the recipe a little bit. The crumble, I think I'm going to cut down the flour to maybe even about 2 cups of flour, because I can taste the flour in the crumble. I thought 3 cups of oats and 3 cups of flour was a lot. And it was. I can taste the flour. And I mixed it well, so it's not like it wasn't mixed. Potentially, if I had used melted butter instead of oil, maybe that would have helped. But it's all sticking together great. Like I don't really think that would have done too much. But that I think is the only thing I would change. I'm just gonna cut down the flour next time because I'm just getting a lot of flour. But it tastes really good. I didn't pack the crumble hard, so it'll be interesting. I'm going to put these in the fridge, and it'll be interesting to see if these actually, I'll try to update this video, if these actually like form bars, or if it's more like a crisp. And if it's a crisp, it'll get eaten. Don't you worry. But I'm wondering if I should have maybe packed the crumble much tighter, which would make sense to form like a bar. So, I'm not sure, but I'm still going to call this a win. This is delicious. Very simple to make. This would also be a really good oatmeal. So I might do this as like a crisp with ice cream. And then with milk as like an oatmeal. As like a baked oatmeal type thing. So, either way, it's going to get eaten and I'm happy about it. Thank you guys for keeping me company in the kitchen today. Simple, easy day, but we got things coming in from the garden. So when things come in, gotta get them harvested. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.